Hashem, please help me find the words for this one. I'm like in the middle of a couple places, and it's hard to, I don't know, what's the word? Focus. I've been taking my medicine, and I've been doing a lot during the days, the past couple of days. So I'm kind of trying to catch up with myself, because I feel like I didn't do much. Like, I feel like I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to. But I'm not recognizing how much I actually accomplished, despite not doing everything that I wanted to do. I think what ended up happening was rereading this other book. Rereading that first book has been incredibly consuming for the past 3 weeks, I think. Yeah, 3 weeks. Maybe 4, 3.5. And it's bringing me back to June 2018, which is like, that was when I first started writing. That was a month after I separated from my wife. Her and my son moved out, so there was a lot going on. Plus, I was also stuck in a place where I was still at my job. So I had a lot going on there. Well, I had a lot going on in that department because I'm at a point where I'm at like a really pivotal point in my life where it's like it's time to shit or get off the pot, and I realize that because that's a lot of what I'm writing about, what I'm seeing that I was writing about at the time, which was like I'm very much into personal development, like my own personal development. And in doing so, it led me down the path of getting into it with other people too. So, I mean, I was also heavily invested in reading cards. Reading cards for people. I had a gift for it. I don't know, I just took to it really well. It takes a certain kind of it takes a certain kind of mind to be able to do that. So I can appreciate the fact that I can. Anybody can do it. It's just I liked what it was doing for me because I wasn't just reading for other people. I was also reading for myself too. And I was using them. I wasn't like trying to predict my future. Well, yes and no, but I was using them more as a tool for self-exploration. Self-empowerment through self-exploration. That's my thing. That's what my business is based on. Because the business part of it is part of it. Because I realized a really long time ago, like, I can't fucking work for nobody. It started when I was working with my father, because he had a tile business, and I fucking hated it. And I got to be daddy's little helper, but he fucking paid good. Well, he paid me good. I mean, he paid everybody good, anybody that would work with him. I mean, it was mostly a one-man operation. Two-man if you count me. Once in a while, he would bring on another guy or two to do a job. But he paid me really fucking good. I was making like $150 a day. And then there'd be some half days where he'd still pay me for the whole day. He was able to keep himself sustained for a very long time. But then things changed. I don't know. His type of work was drying up. He was relying on me more. I forgot all about that. Not that I forgot, I just haven't thought about it in a while. Because he used to help me with my HOA fees. Because those were expensive. Not that I couldn't afford it, but not that my daddy liked to spoil me, but he was generous when he could be. That's why I never told him no if he needed. Because once things started drying up for him, then he would need to borrow money from me. I don't know if he ever paid me back, but I mean, not that it matters. I mean, I was really tight with my money back then too. It always stung when I had to loan him money. Or give him money. I probably did it under the pretext that he was going to pay back. Not that I told him to, but yeah, pay back when I have it. Alright. So it wasn't, I don't know. But I had a really fucked up connection with money. Which was a big reason for why I needed to be financially independent, and I needed to be independent work-wise. I've been in the position of people holding money over my head a lot. And I've seen it held over other people's heads too a lot throughout my life. And it was just like, I've always had a problem with money ever since I was a kid. Because you know, when you grow up in an environment where it appears to have a negative influence on people, that sticks with you. It's a money wound. So when I was older and I had a career and a family and bills, a mortgage, no car payments, luckily. I always chinched out on cars. Well, no, I think I had really good luck with cars. Because I think total I only had that one that caught on fire. A giant pipe in the back. I love that thing. Then I had the Dodge, which was my first stick. Well, the first car my father bought me, it was like a fucking $300 car some old lady didn't want anymore. I've never had a new car. Then there was the Dodge that my uncle gave me for like $100. That thing ended up driving into the ground. Well, the other one caught on fire on its own. It's not, I didn't set it on fire. I don't know what the fuck happened. Well, you know what? I do know what happened. But, I mean, I don't know what happened, but I know when the problem started. I never got the problem fixed or checked out at all. I was 18, I didn't really give a shit. Then it caught on fire. I had a red light, of all places. And there was the cop who helped push me across the street. And then my car fell into this parking lot. There was a parking lot. There was a store that was right across the street. But from where the highway was, over the curb, there was like a fucking, like an incline. I mean, it was grass and shit, but the cop, he hit me from behind just to kind of get momentum. And because my car was off, when I was hitting the brake wasn't working. I didn't know you had to like fucking pound down, like really like stand on it. I didn't know that. No one ever taught me that part. So the fucking car went over the fucking the sidewalk. I mean, it was great. It was nighttime out. It was after the place was closed, so luckily the parking lot was empty. Thank you, Hashem. But it went down this fucking like 4-foot incline. It was maybe like at a 45-ish degree angle. Like I said, it was all grass, so it was just. But then he popped the hood and he was checking shit out, and you could smell. Well, he's the one who taught me what a fucking electrical fire smells like, because that was the smell that was coming from the engine. And then the fucking, it just, it wasn't a big flame, but it was just, like you couldn't even roast a marshmallow on it. Like you might be able to light a cigarette off of it. But it just wasn't good because there's fire coming out of the engine. Albeit, it might look like you just fucking lit a little piece of paper on fire, but car stopped after that. Then came the Dodge, which was my first stick. My father taught me how to drive stick. Which, I mean, he gave me lessons for a couple hours and then I took it out. Like, it was a pain in the ass, and don't get me wrong. Like, I'm having flashbacks to times where, like, I kept on stalling out at green lights in the middle of the day and people would be fucking pissed. Because what would happen is I put the fucker, I put it in second instead of first, not realizing it. And then know. I mean, I didn't realize that at the time. It took some years for that fucking breakthrough to come down. But and then what happened after that one? Drove that into the ground. I didn't have a car for a while. Then Daddy was getting trucks. Well, I was buying the truck. Well, we'd buy the truck under my name because he didn't have a license. He didn't give a shit about that type of shit. He died in 2015. He lost his license in maybe 1987. Dude didn't give a fuck. Guy just didn't give a fuck. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. He got caught 3 times without a license. Well, technically 4 times, because when he had cancer, he was driving around because he was still fucking working with 4th degree cancer. What is that? Stage 4 lung cancer. The fucking guy's still driving around trying to dial like an asshole. I'm going to a job. You're fucking dying. What are you doing? Should be in a fucking hospital, not fucking doing work. Idiot. But, you know, I have a different perspective on hospitals after what happened to my father. Or what happened for my father. What happened for my father, for me. I don't feel bad about my father dying. Like I'm actually happy for it. I'm glad. Like that sounds kind of fucked up. My sister doesn't like when I talk like that because it's not like, oh, you know, yeah, Daddy's dead. Fuck him. It's the complete opposite of that, because it's like, okay, I can see the value that comes along with people not being in your life anymore. At the time, it was hard. At the time, it was really hard, because I'd say my father at least once a week, because he would come by and watch my son on Thursdays. And because he had his own business, like, he would make sure everybody knew. Don't even think my name on Thursday. I'm with my grandson. I don't want to hear nothing. Okay. And that would usually be with contractors. He didn't have employees. He did the whole thing by himself. Man, do you know that explains where I get it from? Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Hashem. Well, my father built it on his own. Not that he had a fucking empire. Well, no, I mean, he did, technically. The fucking dude, he lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in Belmar, New Jersey, right across the street from the beach for like 25 years. And the lady who was renting it to him fucking rented it to him for like half of what those apartments would normally go for. So yeah, the fucking dude was doing all right. He had fun. He enjoyed the fuck out of his life. He had a boat once. He bought it with his buddy, his business, not his business partner, but they were like, the word butt buddies is coming to mind, but his buddy Matt was a contractor, and he had his own thing. He had a fucking sweet thing going on. Like, that dude was all right. A nice house. He'd throw parties in the summer for the employees. Like, he was cool as fuck. But him and my dad got along really well. So Matt would always feed my father with work, and they would hang out and drink, and they bought a boat together. They took it out once, and they got stranded out. They got stranded out in the sea. I remember my father, he was taking the classes because he wanted to take it really seriously. I'm sure Matt did too. But I'm only familiar with my father's side of the story. So I remember the one day they took it out. They like took it out really far, and they ran out of gas, and neither one of them knew there was a reserve tank on the boat, so they fucking panicked. And he told me they were only gonna be gone for a couple hours. It's like 8 hours later. I just assumed that they went out for drinks afterwards. That was like a small town, a lot of bars. It's also a tourist town too. Well, it was a tourist town, or is a tourist town. I don't think it's called Belmar anymore either. I think it's called Lake Como now. I heard that they changed the name because of the summer crowd that it was attracting. That's what I heard. I think that was in the paper. I think. Because they'd get a lot of people from North Jersey and New York who would come down for vacation homes, because it was only about like an hour drive away. Like, you ain't going nowhere in the summer. Don't even fucking try driving around up there. Well, I mean, if you're driving on the Parkway, I mean, that's a whole different story. Especially on the weekends. Parkway's fucked on the weekends, because that's when everybody goes home, because they got work during the week, and then they come down to Belmar on the weekend. So if you try to drive on the New Jersey Parkway, like anywhere from Route 80 up, like, you ain't going nowhere on a Sunday afternoon. Well, you're not gonna get to where you want to go as soon as you want to get there, rather. The winters suck, though. That's why I got a job at a radio station. Well, technically I started off as an intern, but I was an intern for about a year. Because I wasn't officially going through the school. I went to school at the time. And I was in the school radio station. I had a show on there. So, but I had learned that they were looking for interns while at the radio station at the school. It's a county college. Wasn't anything too extravagant. I didn't even graduate. I ended up using my tuition money to buy 2 grams of methamphetamines. I never told my dad about that. And after I didn't pay the tuition, and like I had classes, I just didn't pay for them, so I couldn't go. So technically my name got scratched out of the attendance sheet, but on the days I had school, I would go. I would go there and just sit in the parking lot. Felt like such a fucking idiot. But it got me out of the apartment, which was good. But I don't know if he knew about the stuff that I was doing back then. I was going to rave still, and plus I was just learning. I was teaching myself to be a DJ, to spin records, because my friends and I, we would go to raves constantly, and all my friends were DJs, and it looked like a lot of fun. So I'm like, fuck, I want to do that too. And I liked it. It was really fun. But we also used to produce too, which is something I want to get back into. I have the software. I just have to like have the time. That's the hard part. because I have a lot of shit that I'm working on, and it's like I know I have to finish it. It's not even like, but I feel like, and the reason for that is because it feels like if I get that done, then I don't have to worry about doing other things anymore. Like, that's it. That's the thing. Okay, he's done now. Now you can just enjoy the rest of your life. Because at that point, that's when the money starts to flow in. How do you even know that? That's what Hashem tells me. Listen, you gotta understand too, like, I've been at this for a really long time. Like, this is my life. Like 5 years. They say, my business coach, Mickey Agarwal, she said, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. So if you're going to get into something, then you need to be in it for the long haul and not give a fuck. Like, you literally have to be willing to fucking die for this. Which is where I can appreciate the passion of Uncle Christ, because it's like you if you're gonna go into business for something, anything really, man, unless you're just going in it for a paycheck, like, this is just how I see it. Not everybody has the time or inclination or motivation to, like, to do all the things that I do. Because everything I do is about me. Like, that's the thing. I write about myself, for myself, but I also do other things too. It's not like I'm just sitting there jerking off in the mirror all day. I mean, in my head, but that's the point. Trust me, I would rather be watching someone else jerking me off in my head instead. Like, but there's a time and a place. And right now, my time and my place needs to be utilized to the best and highest good in which to serve Hashem's will. Because, how many people look for their soul purpose? How many people are actually wondering, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing here? I know I'm not supposed to be doing this shit. I could just be speaking for myself, but... But so when I say serving Hashem, that's literally what I mean, because I found my soul purpose. My soul serves God. So if my soul, who I modeled my business after, even exists. The fact that it even exists, that's a whole other fucking story. But being that it exists, and that it's tethered to Hashem, and its purpose is to serve Hashem, if my soul's purpose is to serve its boss, then it would make sense that would be my job too. I mean, unless Hashem is my servant. As well. Alright, I like that idea. I'm as much your servant as you are mine. Hey, that's so sweet. Yeah, but you deserve it. Why? Because of all the shit you had to get through to even find this place. Like, people are doing this for their whole fucking lives and they haven't found what you found. Just ask. Ask and you shall receive. Right. Can I get to know my servant? Just give me an order. Like how? I don't want to ask like an asshole. We'll try it a couple times. Hashem. The service I would like for you to provide for me at this moment is to inspire I know who I'm going to say. It's not like, oh, I gotta flip through the Rolodex. No, I know the person. You know the person I'm talking about, right? I don't have to say it out loud. That's the service I want you to provide for me. I want you to provide this service. If it's supposed to. Only if it's supposed to. Yeah. Only if, and I'll make that stipulation, only if that's their intention. Yeah, what I'm saying is, if that's their intention, when I say inspire, I mean get the blocks out of the way. Or at least show them how to get the blocks out of the way so that they can. Yeah, I would. Well, don't say it like that, because then I feel like I'm not granting wishes. Wishes have limitations. Not to mention the fact that wishes are finite. That's why it's service for service. So, if you're going to do that for me, if you're going to provide that service for me, then what kind of service can I provide for you in return? Because it's not quid pro quo per se, but it's an energy exchange. It's the law of exchange. That's literally what it is. And we get experience by being in service of each other. Because you didn't want people to think that I'm just like a blind follower. Okay, I appreciate that. Oh, because you also didn't want me to think that's about myself. Because other people would think that. Ugh. So maybe start the day off like that. Hashem, how can I be of service? How can I best be of service to you so that you're of best service to me in return? Because you're a kind and loving God who isn't a dickhead like the Christians try to portray you to be. Actually, the complete opposite. Because Hashem, the more that you believe in yourself, the more that Hashem believes in you, and the more that Hashem believes in you, the more that he shows you good, valuable, acceptable experiences to help you better understand your life, but also God, because your life does belong to God, because I made you little pricks, and I've given you enough time to wake up, to snap out of it yourself, so I'm making your worst nightmares come to true, and putting Derek in charge of all the things. And he only has to answer directly to me, which he already does, which is why I have no issues being of service to him, because nobody forced him into this life. I gave him a taste of it and saw how much he appreciated it, which is all I really want from people, is people to just fucking appreciate the fact, like, hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome for the bad stuff, and you're welcome for the good stuff, because if not for the bad stuff, then there wouldn't be any good stuff. So stop saying, why can't God make bad go away? To make it worth having the other stuff. God. It's not fucking rocket science. It's just like, hey, thanks, bruh. Appreciate ya. And I appreciate your lady friend too. God has a lady friend, yeah. You need a boy and a girl to do boy and girl things. Like, where the fuck do you think universes come from? They come from gods having sex. Yeah, that makes the most sense. That's what I tell people. I'm like, the Big Bang and the creation, it's the same fucking thing, man. It's like, the theory is that antimatter and matter collided and created this big explosion, the Big Bang. Yeah, exactly. Antimatter and matter, the two polarities are the same thing. It's like a positive charge and a negative charge. It's not matter and antimatter, because matter is energy. So what you're talking about is literally like a positive charge and a negative charge. It's a masculine and a feminine, which, being that there's a god, there has to be a goddess to polarize and balance him out. So when the two come together, yeah, it's a Big Bang. Sex bang. That eventually turns into this fucking wild gangbang of particles. Because, God. Right, they're talking about, it's the creation of the atom. It's when the first electron and the first proton fucking came together. I'm sorry, the first proton and neutron. Or maybe electron. Yeah. Proton and electron. When those two finally came together, it created the neutron. Oh, which would be wind. Holy shit, what are you talking about? The four elements of creation. It's in the fucking atom, you jabrones. Oh my God. Are we serious? Or are we playing stupid? Because if we're playing stupid, like, that's going to be one thing. The four elements of creation that these crazy people who said that fire, water, air, and earth created everything. What? Where did they come from? They came from God and his wife, the goddess, who fucking had a Big Bang. The first electron and the first proton, they collide. But because they're two opposites, they now just created something brand new. So we have to justify that with the creation of the neutron. The neutron that polarizes the two particles so that they don't collide anymore. That's its purpose. That's the role that it plays. And you can look at that, like, electrons, neutrons. What is that? Blue and red. That's fire and ice. As a matter of fact, the fucking the Norse fucking gods. That's what their history is based on. Red and blue coming together. In the beginning, there was the world of fire, Niflheim, and the world of ice. Oh, I'm sorry, Muspelheim, and the world of ice, Niflheim. One day, the heat from the fires melted the ice, and Ugmagalugbalaba was born. The giant cow. And the cow sustained itself by licking the ice and absorbing its nutrients and salts. This is their history, not mine. I'm just repeating what I've heard and read. In a funny voice, to sound more like a wizard. Put my wizard hood on. Wizard hood looks like a fucking burglar, bud. Well, I'm wearing all black. I'm wearing black shoes, black pants, black shirt, black hoodie. Well, I mean, it used to be black. It looks like it came out of a garbage can. Or a fucking... hell knows. The closet of a chain smoker. The cow? Yeah, the cow story's real. How does that relate? It's air. Now, listen. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that the cow was made out of fucking ice. Because when we get a little further along in the story, it starts to make sense. Like, oh. So as the ice continued to melt, what it did was it created the first ice giant, Ymir. Ymir was like this asexual, like, proto entity. But he survived by drinking the milk from the cow. Now, mind you, we're using words. Cow. It's bringing images to your head. Just because it says cow doesn't mean you have to think of a cow. Think of all the things that a cow represents. A heifer. Of some sort. Who the fuck knows what it was? I don't know. It was something that was keeping something else alive. Something alive that was keeping something else alive. But where's the intelligence coming from? Exactly. That's Hashem. That's Hashem. That's the Big Bang right there. We don't know. For some reason, a proton and a neutron... Hashem doesn't even fucking know. In the beginning, like... What the fuck is going on? What is going on here? Try to consider that one. Have you ever considered that one? Like... I don't fucking know. I don't know where I came from. Well, then you can't be omnipotent. Because that means you have to know everything. No, actually, in order to know everything, you do have to know nothing at the same time. There has to be something that you don't know anything about, because that's the like if you're going to put a limitation on yourself. All right. There's more that I don't know. I don't know everything, but I know everything else. That's why I can't be wrong ever. Even when I'm wrong, I'm not wrong. I can intentionally try to be wrong, but even then, just by the intention of doing it, that just kind of cancels it out. It's math. Well, I mean, it's physics. A thought with a negative charge and another thought with a negative charge, they're obviously going to cancel each other out. But you know what the negative charged feelings are. Well, I was going to say, you know the negatively charged thoughts because they feel bad. They feel negative. It's like an internal guidance system where it's like a waypointer. Don't go this way, go that way. Okay, this way feels much better. Well, yeah, that's why I asked Hashem to be of service to me the way that I asked him to be of service to me, because I felt really good. All right, well, okay, yeah. That's being attached to a result. So how about this? To be of service to me, attract to me more opportunities to feel that light up feeling, or at least help me get into the flow of it. Oh, you are getting into the flow of it because you're giving power to, you're powering the power of the moon and how important of a resource that really is to you people. And stop saying that witches don't have power. We literally have all the power. You're welcome. Somebody's got to learn how this fucking place works. How it was engineered. Like, there's engineering to it. That's why I like when I see these people who like argue, where do you see this intelligent life? What are you talking about? Intelligent design. Then why is this place designed exactly the way that it is? Riddle me that one. No one's saying you gotta fucking bow down and sprechen God's pinga. Because listen, he's not entirely different than you and me, than us. Like, he's got questions too. Like, what the fuck is going on? This is so weird. Integrating. I got it. A channel. A vessel, a pot, clapot, sparks. This is what happens when the sparks like go supernova. Well, technically kilonova. Technically, I mean, if you want to get like scientific about it. What's that? What's a kilonova? That's a great question. Because I was wondering this not too long ago. I met this Leo girl, and I wanted to know what it was called when two stars collide. Because I had a feeling it was just going to have a fucking really cool name. And it does. It's called a kilonova. It's so cool. It's literally when two stars fucking smash right into each other. I like Leo girls. I like Leo girls a lot. Well, I mean, I don't have too much I have the experience I've had with Leo girls is always fun. Not always in a sex way. I like hanging out with girls more than guys. Like, why the fuck would I want to hang out with a guy for? But not in like that pimp and hoe sort of way, but more like I'd rather be surrounded by women than men. That's just me. I don't know. Like, I like my brother. I like my brother-in-law. I like my stepfather. Like, I mean, I have personal relations with men, but I don't really connect with them. I connect better with ladies. I mean, not that I can't talk to men. Like, I can like have a fucking conversation, dude. I'm not that big of a dick. I'm too good to talk to men. No, I have men friends. I have my entire life. But I just prefer ladies. The company of ladies. A lady. I prefer the company of a lady, not ladies. Listen, they're as much all the same as men are, so I look at it like that. I dig girl energy more than guy energy, though. But that's why I'm asking Hashem, like, I'd really like to narrow this down to like a person. So my service to you, or your service to me, could be, but you already did. Like, I feel like you already did. Like, I feel like maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point. Ask God to be of service to you, and then see for yourself how he's already doing it. Think of the one wish that you would want God to grant you, and then reverse engineer it. Look at your life and how it's already happening, and you're just not being observant of it. It's just not, or maybe it's just not exactly the way that you wanted it. I mean, you're allowed to be a spoiled brat about it, but there comes a point where it's like, all right, I'll stop being a brat. I'll stop stomping my feet. Thank you. I know it's not what I wanted, but it's so much better. But someone like me, someone who likes to know cool shit like I do. Someone who's interested in the same kind of change that I'm interested in. Some of which includes social change as well. I have my social causes that I care for. Very deeply, as a matter of fact. Which is the whole purpose of why I'm even doing what I'm doing. Including having the kind of business that I have. Like, I put a lot of thinking into this. I mean, I've been doing it, like I said, 5.5 years. Well, technically a little longer than that. About 6. It'll be 6 tomorrow. Oh, shit. It'll be 6 tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's the 6-year anniversary of when it... Huh. This has happened last month too. Well, we were talking about something, and she said something, and it brought back like a really important memory. And it just happened to be like, oh, it's funny that you're saying that, because this thing that made me think like that, the anniversary for it is next week. Choose life. And then today it was something about, she had posted something, or was that yesterday? About, what's the word? Childlike wonder, and bringing that into your life. Yeah, which got me thinking about my situation last year and how horrendous it was at the time when I was working for Hugo Boss. But what happened? Yeah, it sucked at the time. Like, oh my God, it was a fucking nightmare. But the whole reason that I was even in the situation to begin with was because I was doing an experiment with witchcraft. I had just finished like a 6-month crash course in green witchery, and listen, I was practicing magic beforehand, so like I was already familiarized with the concepts that were being presented. Like, I was intimately familiar with the concepts being presented, but I just not from that perspective. So that's why I took to it so well. And this lady, Mia Magic, she's got a couple different courses. Witch School 1, Witch School 2, Witchy Rich. All of which I did. And then it was like such perfect fucking timing too. It was like almost bizarre, because just the time, like something just hit me one day when I'm like, I gotta do this now. Oh, because I saw a video from this chick, Skylife, and she, she did something with Mia, which is how I found Mia in the first place, I think. Yeah. I think Sky had posted something with her. I'm like, what? They make witches like this? But at the same time, like, I am also like a student. Like, it just helps that the teacher's hot. I'm not shallow. I'm sensitive. So when I know, like, I have to go in a direction and it feels right, I have to do it the way that I'm doing it. Because that's the point, is to see, okay, well, whoa, what's this feeling? This feeling's like you're doing the right thing right now. You need to know this shit. Get on it. I'm on it, boss. And mind you, I'm also an astrology student myself. So it's not like, and working with the moon as intimately as I do, it's important for me to know stuff like that, because that's kind of like the basis of it, you know? Being a student of the magical arts, both light and dark, and the Jewish arts. not highly untrained with Hebrew. It's been a passion project of mine for years. I love Hebrew so much. I wrote my first Hebrew sentence. And I don't know how to speak it. I don't know how to write it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. In terms of the Hebrew dictionary. I don't know any of it. I mean, it's not that I don't know any of it. There are important words that I keep, like Hashem, bitahon, una baknani na bazos. Bethel. That's an important one. You know, and that's a really important. The reason that one's so important to me is because that was the first Hebrew phrase that I read. Like I don't want to say that technically I shouldn't have been able to read it because I read it because I knew I had been studying it. Like very basic stuff, like just like brief descriptions of the symbols, of the symbol representations of each of the letters, because that's why I want to know it. Because the part of my brain that I use, the part of my mind that I use to interpret tarot cards is the same part of my mind that I use that's so fascinated with Hebrew. And I understand why it's fascinated now. It needed me to learn it. Because it's fucking suffocating and it needs air. It's one of the sparks. Or it's all the sparks. They all spark. Holy shit. Whoa, fuck me, dude. Oh, fuck. That was important? Yeah, that was fucking important. You have no idea how important that is. Oh my God, that means that whole thing happened. Oh my God, oh my God. Holy shit. That's fucked up. Oh my God, flashbacks, I'm having flashbacks. To pivotal moments in my recent past that are just like, oh my God, holy shit. I met Thoth, the god of writing. Holy shit. And Orion fucking talked to me, dude. Like, that's right. I remember you were showing me this last night. Oh my God. That's like an excitement, oh my God. Like, holy shit. Oh, thank you, Hashem. That's kind of scary, though. I could see the code. It's fuzzy, but I could see it. Like, I get what that means. It's not entirely unlike the movie. I mean, keep in mind that the code... The code that they showed in the Matrix, like that was on a 2D screen. That was the rendering. I mean, it's not much different than that. Before you could see everything, you have to like first be able to see your own shit. Because by looking at your own shit, that's what, oh fuck, dude. You start making all the connections and like, you can feel the synapses fucking burning into your brain. There's just music playing, don't worry. Fuck. But we're also mixing in a little bit of ice magic in here too. Going back to the worlds of fire and ice. And the proton and the neutron. It's wave particle duality. The proton and the neutron are the same thing. They're just two polarities. They're two opposing polarities. One's matter, one's energy. One's a waveform. That's what it means by the word. Words are vibrations. The two opposing vibrations. Matter and antimatter. You've been looking at them the whole time and you didn't even realize it. That's why. Because you haven't figured out what each of them does. Well, the neutron keeps them separated, just like air separates fire and water, which would be the sun and the moon. Well, what keeps them separated? The neutron. The polarizing forces that are attached to it. Like, the moon is the proton and the sun's the electron. And the invisible forces that are keeping them separated are the neutron. Fuck, dude! Yeah, I knew he was smart too. Fuck, I didn't know he was that smart. I think I just broke him. Shit. This is gonna be a fucking problem. Ice magic helps freeze the blood so that you're less caring. Don't worry, I'm going back inside afterwards. I'm gonna warm up. And I'll be more compassionate, trust me. Because I got my snuggly blanket. Oh my god. I would love to share that blanket with somebody. It's a 15-pound weighted blanket. It's fucking delicious. I've been sleeping with it since 2020. I will not get rid of that fucking thing. I'm a blankie boy. I've always been. I love my blankies. In my past life, I used to wrap up in a quilt and put it over my head. I used to turn it into a cloak. The most snuggliest cloak ever. Just a big fucking quilt wrapped around your body. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, I miss that life. Oh my god, I would love to have somebody to do a quilt cloak with. A double quilt cloak. Oh, that sounds so nice. You never invited me to go in your cloak. Quilt coat. Cloak. I just had the idea. It just came to me. If I thought about it then, like... Gamzu Latova. That's another one. This too is for the good. This too is for the best. He is the one. I know. He knows. Shit. What are we gonna do? Just say hi. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Like, you don't have to like go crazy about it. Just hi. If it doesn't feel right, then I don't fucking respond to it. It's like Star Wars, dude. Like Star Wars Galaxies. It's a video game that I used to play. But I want to be on the production team. I want to be on the production team when it gets remade. You're welcome, Disney. It's the best idea ever. Reinstate Star Wars Galaxies. But let me be in charge of designing the Force. Because based on every show and movie that I've seen, I think Yoda might be the only person who knows it as well as I do. Even the Sith don't even know it as well as I do. And that's saying a lot. That's saying a whole lot. And I can prove that. Technically, I'd argue that because of Hashem is the Force. Hashem is the Force. May the Force be with you. May Hashem be with you. Hashem, it's a Hebrew word. It's a name for God. I mean, granted, I say it's the name for God because of what it represents. And what it represents, the meaning behind it, that's the really important thing. Hashem means the name. Which means, like, God, it goes by many names. Like, you choose the one that's right for you. The name in which God reveals to you. It could be a lady's name. Because there's both. And they both do, well, I don't want to say they both do the same thing. Well, some of them do. But for the most part, they got their own big bangs. Like that. Right. Because when gods and goddesses have sex, they make universe babies. I'm a universe baby. Oh, that's what happens to a starseed when it blossoms. It becomes a universe baby. What a dick. Universe boy. Ugh. Yeah. No, that was just me getting the douche chills from letting the prince out. The prince likes to have fun. And likes to wear the crown on his head. Because he can't wait till he grows up to be the king. It's in my name. Like, my mother told me this story when I don't know if it was like before she was pregnant with me, while she was pregnant with me, or after she had me, I forget. But she went to a psychic, and the psychic told her, one of your children is going to work with stars and music. And, you know, would you fucking be damned, that's exactly what I do. I haven't worked on music in a long time, but I believe that once I finish what I'm doing, I don't have the time to do it. It should be fun. I mean, I'm having fun getting there. To write, make music, and have a quilt cloak buddy. Partner. A quilt cloak partner. Love that idea. Oh my goodness. Hashem, if you want to be of service to me, if you feel so inclined to be of service to me, then please, pretty please, with sugar on top, guide me to everything I need to make that reality. Manifest. Is this what I wish? Well, is it going to help you? What do you think? Yeah? I was thinking about it last night. Like, how would you make the game? Like, that's the hard thing. Like, I don't have any game design experience. I mean, well, that's not entirely true. I could use a little refreshing, but I can definitely put together a if-else statement with Python. I mean, I need my book to remind me how to do it, but the point is I've done it, and I know once I get back into the hang of that, because that's something I had to get back into too. That's right, programming. Don't forget that. Why? Because I want to know how to do those things. Those are cool skills. 3D design too. That's a thing. How do you say that? 3-dimensional design? Yeah. Code, matrix, 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional. Yeah. Yeah, if you zoom in far enough, you'll find out that there is a pattern, there's a code to it. But the thing is, like, it repeats itself, but it repeats itself in a way that it appears. I mean, again, there's like, I can't answer every question, but there does come a point where it appears to be self-aware. Because there's some things I can't control. Like, that's the point. Like, I'm not going to say that there's no chance that there's aspects of me that are doing this, but there comes a point where blind faith, like, goes away. Bitahon. That's a thing. That's a real thing. And I'm not the only one that knows that it's a thing. What it is, what Bitahon is learning how to put absolute trust in Hashem. Like, that's really difficult to do. It requires a lot, like a whole lot. But that's the point. It's like, there has to be someone that can do it, because when there's not, everything's chaotic. So, Torah training has been helping. Torah training has been helping a lot, because I got to the point in history where, like, I get an idea of why certain things are said the way that they are, and it makes sense to me. And I can see, like, I like to problem solve. So when I see things happening that I don't agree with, like, I immediately go like, well, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. But then what that does is that triggers me back to going, okay, well, now you're going to judge them. Now here's some instances where you can actually relate in some way, shape, or form. And it feels like cringy and gross, because it's like, oh, man, dude. fuck, man. But then the deeper you dive into it, then it's just like, oh, okay, well, I understand it. Okay, well, you know, look how it fits into this too, and if not for that, then all right, fuck it. All right, good job. One of my entities, the fellatio factor. Spelled with a PH. It's spelled phonetically. Because I want it to be an unfamiliar word, but then once you say it, like, you know exactly what it means. What it can mean. 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 Because, like, it doesn't mean what you think it means. What it means, and our tagline, because every good business has a tagline. Our tagline is like, sometimes you have to blow your own horn before somebody else does it for you. I'm tooting my own horn right now. No, I fucking blow my horn. It's like a fucking shofar. Of course I know what a shofar is. It's a goat horn that we blow into on Rosh Hashanah. A witch, goddammit. Man, witch, Jew. Ultra unorthodox man, witch, Jew supreme is what I call it. It's my favorite thing ever. Because it's not true. I'm absolutely positively, as far as I could tell, like the most unorthodox Jew that there is. To the point that I might not even have like a matriarchal line to it. See, it's only the whole thing about the matrilineal ancestry is that's only been in effect for 2,000 years. But. Oh, was it to keep people like Jesus out? Is that what that's about? We don't need another rabble rouser like him showing his head around. Is that what that fucking thing is about? I don't believe it's a coincidence that 2,000 years. Because trust me, I know he was a rabble rouser. If you don't follow me, then you're not a real Jew. Fuck you, man. I mean, I get it. He was proving a point. Hey, I'm a Jew too. Like, it may not be. Well, the fucked up thing is, that's not true, because now that I know, like, the connection, it's like, no, I always did for my entire life. I always thought I was a Jew. I didn't know that's what it was called, though. Holy shit. And the fucked up thing is, like, I don't think anyone's gonna take it seriously. Which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. I take it seriously. That's all that matters to me. I don't really give a shit what other people think. Like, I don't mean to say it like that. No, I do. I do. But that's not the only thing. So that's why I justify it, because you know what? I if it makes me a bad person for thinking that way, just allowing myself to think that way because I know it's gonna go away, fuck you. I don't fucking, like, I'm not gonna feel bad for my entire life because other people want to feel bad about the things that I think about. Does nobody in the world think bad things? Like, I don't fucking understand that. Like, I've seen that before in people where it's just like, I don't get it. Like, what am I missing? I think to myself, like, I'm talking. I guess I'm narrowing it down to my ex-wife and my son right now. It's like I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Is it because of the dog, or is it the things I say? It's the things I say and the things that I don't do. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that, because I do know what to say to that. Is it because I'm not doing what you want me to do? How you want me to do it? I mean, is that the problem, that I'm doing it my way? Yeah, I took the long route, but that's because, you know what, that actually just brought the letter Kuf to my mind. It almost looks like a backwards P. Almost. No, I mean, I guess you could say that it's a backwards P, so to speak. The loopy thing isn't attached. And it actually tells a story. Oh man, I forgot about that. That's right. It's a back door into the abyss. Oh shit. Oh, that's like a whole new breakthrough. That's like so cool for Hebrew. Because I've never heard this explanation before. Because it represents a monkey, like a imitation. It's an imitation. It's a falsery. But there's a story attached to it about the feet. When do we blow the candles out? You blow the candles out when there's no more feet in the market. What is that for? Is that just Shabbos? I could be wrong. I'm still new at this, but I'm impressed by how much I've picked up so far. I've even been, speaking of, I've even been teaching the old masters Torah. which is funny, because that's something that can be done. That's actually something that can be done. And I'm not the only one that believes that. That's the crazy part. Nah, it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. It would just that would be just like par for the course of my life, to find out that everything I always wanted to be since I was a little boy, there are people that actually want me to be that thing, who I never even knew existed. And that was another dream of mine when I was a kid, was I was going to find out that I was a part of a different family. Yeah, that's... Well, raise your head if you never felt that before. So, I don't feel bad. I hate you. I don't want this guy as my dad anymore. You can leave anytime you want. I'm not keeping you here. Whose shirt is that? No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that because let me rephrase that to what really happened. Wait a second. I haven't worn one of these in a long time. Large. I don't wear large. Hey, whose shirt is this? Oh, it's my boyfriend's. I was blowing him on your side of the bed before you got home. Wait. Did that actually just happen? Hashem? Thank you, Hashem. So when I say I don't feel bad about certain things, like, I don't feel bad about certain things. Like, I know I wasn't like a fucking picnic. I wasn't a fucking picnic party. But at the same time, it's like, the fuck? How many relapses happened that I found out about? Well, you know what? Maybe that was it. There was never... No, there was, because I could tell the difference from when it was on and when it was off. I knew the difference. Like, that wasn't even a fucking thing. Like, that was... You don't spend 12 years with somebody and not fucking know them. No, they're little tiny intricacies. Listen, baby, when the minute that it happened, like an internal ping would go off. She's hiding something. And mind you, that's because I was hiding shit too. So it's not like Derek's an angel with dirty wings. Trust me, I already know about that. Well, it's not even that they're dirty. That's not, them shits ain't dirty, they're just black. Some people say demon, but that's like such a derogatory term. Fallen. And you know what's funny? It's funny that we're even saying that because, like, this jacket, this is my aunt's. So my aunt died on the same day that my father did, but the year prior. And this was, my mother gave this to me from her wardrobe. I love it. But if you ever read the Sandman Slim series, which is a really good book series, by the way, if you've never read it, it's by Richard Kadrey. It's badass. So fucking badass. Like, it was so bad. Like, when I was reading, it was hard for me to read because it's like, fuck, dude. I want to be like this guy. I should be doing shit like this. I want to be fucking blowing fireballs out of my fucking hands. Hellion speech. The story, the Sandman Slim story is dope as fuck. What would happen? It's literally a cross between my life and Harry Potter. But it's in LA. Which was part of the reason why I went to LA in the first place, because after Richard Kadrey, he finished the series, I followed him on Twitter. And once he finished the last book, which I never got to, I still got like, I think I'm only on like book 5. I'm like way behind. But that's what I fucking loved about Stark, dude. I don't know, he just reminded me of me. He reminded me of drunk me. That's what I liked about him. Is like when I was drinking, that was me. I didn't go on the crazy adventures, mind you, but that's how I felt on the inside. But it wouldn't be until later that I really started to like learn about the occult, before I got into studying magic, because that's where it started from, which was triggered by a post by QAnon on November 4th, 2017, which put me down this fucking rabbit hole. Oh my God. Listen, I know people make fun of QAnon, but try to imagine that, like, there was at least 0.002% of what it was saying that was just actually true. Like, the problem is like, what's not true. I mean, I think that the not true shit's, like, pretty obvious. Almost everything political. Politics are all fake. I mean, whatever. They do fucked up shit. I mean, if people don't know that by now, like, that's on you, man. You play stupid. The government's been up to shady shit for as long as there's been a government. The fuck? How many of the founding fathers were fucking Freemasons? Do you know what goes on in a Freemason lodge? Like I was saying, have you ever been inside of one? Like, been to a meeting? Do you know what they practice? Do you know where they got it from? Do you know what part of their Bible's made up of from? Because you gotta understand, like, Judaism is just one story. Well, no, that's the first story. That's literally the first story ever told. Because it was kept as a fucking reminder of where we came from. I'm sorry, it's not in the language that you prefer. When was the word fucking Adam invented? Big Bang? When was the Big Bang coined? Like, what gets me the most is how people, like, I don't know if it's willful ignorance or what, but the correspondences, like the thematic correspondences of it all, it just, and I know, I get it, there are people that take everything literally, I know, but when you do the same thing, well, we never heard it explained the way that you do it. That's a good point. And what the hell are you getting onto your high horse for? Because it sounds like shit's all new to you too. Well, it is, some of it. And why are you even there to be saying that in the first place? Like, no one invited you here. And And the voice is in my head, and I'm just recording it. I don't know there's fucking people watching this. Well, it seems like you're making it so people will watch it. Yeah, I know that. That's kind of like, I'm just letting it flow. I'm not playing an act. I'm just letting it out. I had a feeling, like, go outside and start recording. Okay. Because that's all I ever do. I don't go, sometimes, like, sometimes there'll be something happening and I want to talk about it. Like, something inside my head is happening, I want to talk about it. So that's like the song. It's like, okay, we'll see what happens. Let's continue on with this experiment, because this all started from an experiment like fucking 5.5 years ago, just to follow my intuition. Because of everything that I learned. Oh, I wonder if she'll appreciate that. I appreciate sharing it. I appreciate the inspiration to share it. And I always get great inspiration from her. That's why I like her. She's like a muse, an adorable little muse. A little sweetie pie. I like her work. I think she does really cool work. I don't remember her Pinterest though. There's these cool wreaths. I see a little witch. She's like an actual witch, like. Not like one of the well, I don't know. Not like one of the what? I mean, they're all real. Women are witches whether they realize it or not. I mean, they can pretend that they're not. I mean, they have it in them. They have it in them. They have the gene in them. They have the gene in them. And, by the way, some people find it as a good quality. Also called a bitch. Which probably comes from vitch. Why would it come from vitch? Why? Because B doubles as a V. You don't believe me? I can prove it. Bait. Or base. What's base? Bait. That is the second Hebrew letter. That's where the fourth wall comes down. Which is what it is. Which is literally what it is. It's a house. The design of it is like a dwelling. It looks like a backward C, a squared backward Z, kind of, basically. I mean, there's more to the design to it than that, and every piece of the design is like important for what it represents. So it's like it's not just half-assed together. There's actually thought that's put into the way that the letters are designed. But that's the thing. It's like, how do you know that's right though? Because when it's explained properly, and you understand what the subtle intricacies of the design represent, then it's like, oh, okay, that tells a different story. The story it tells is, oh shit, this is not bullshit. This is actually real. So, I mean, for someone like me, that's a huge discovery. That's like, holy shit. Holy shit. It was there the whole time. And people either ignore it on purpose or they ignore it for a reason. And I get it because I was reading the thought of the day on Chabad.com, .org. Chabad.org. And it was about the people of Sodom and how the people of Sodom, they wanted to be separated from everyone else. They wanted absolute separation from other people. Probably because they did whatever the fuck they wanted. Nobody gave a shit. Like, everybody in Sodom was evil. Like that and that's the thing with the flood. With the Great Flood. People get all bent out of shit. God killed children and women. They were all evil. You don't understand. They were all evil people. Try to imagine that every single person on earth, except for Noah, every single person, tell me this is not fucking crazy. This is so unbelievable. Every single human being on earth, including the children, were fucking demons. Literal fucking demons. Not with the wings, but with the fucked up shit that they did. You have no idea. Or maybe you do have an idea. Try to think like blood, sex, murder orgies. Like that type of shit. Like feeding diarrhea to babies. That type of shit. There was no... Listen, the flood was a fucking like... Holy shit, this is fucked up. They ain't coming back. There ain't no coming back from this. Or at least we got one. Holy shit. Is he sticking that? Oh my god. How is she taking so many of those? Like, try to imagine the world today. This literally. And you know what's funny? The anniversary. What was it? 4 days ago, on the 17th of Elul. Oh, I'm sorry, the 7th. Elul. Come on, man. The 17th of Marcheshvan. Hashvan? Or Heshvan? The Mar is optional. I like to put the R because of what it represents. Which is like bitter. Heshvan, it means water, if I remember correctly, or it means rain. Because this is the month where the rain that flooded the earth started. So, oh wow, maybe there's going to be a mass human extinction event that happens. That's coming. Oh, this is going to lead to World War III. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I forgot there's also the war with Russia and Ukraine. Oh, dude. The human race is fucked. God's not going to do it this time. He swore to Noah. I'm not doing that again. I promise I won't do it. But he didn't say he wasn't going to allow the human race to fucking destroy themselves. Hey, you can't blame it on me this time, motherfuckers. Listen, there are mass extinction events like this with the human race going back. I mean, if you really think about it, the fucking where are the pyramid builders? Where are the people that made Greece and Rome? Where are they? We got the Saurian facts. Yeah. Well, why aren't we still doing things that way? What happened? Yeah, I know. History is written by the victor. I know. I'm not. But how many of the bad guys were actually good guys? Tell me that. Don't be so quick to judge people when you don't know shit. Oh, I've read Mein Kampf. Not all of it. Enough of it. Listen. The guy had a distaste for Jews. But do you know what else was going on in the world at that time? There's a reason why. It's not just out of the blue. Let's be honest, because what was going on in Jewish history from the secular calendar perspective. I ain't just pointing fingers for no reason. Because I don't know who did it, and I know it's an anti-Semitic text. It's a forgery. I know. I read it. I read the whole thing, cover to cover. There were some good ideas in there, and there were some bad ideas in there. I mean, it wasn't all fake. I can tell you that right now. I can assure you, it's not 100% false. It's also not 100% like pretty. I get that too. But it's also not 100% false either, because I understand some of the concepts in there. Like, like for instance, the king. Little to no security. But he's also got to be able to like be among the people too. Like that's the thing. Today's society, like VIPs, like they got to be like they got security up the ass. But the point is, the reason why the king doesn't have security is because not to disguise his position, because everybody knows it. Trust me, everybody knows. But he doesn't need security because he's got Hashem. And that's the point. Because it's not a vote by your peers. There's no vote to it. It's just like, hey guys, I'm here now. What do you want to do? How can I help? Follow his lead. He's a snake and he knows it, but that's the point. Sometimes it has to be serpent tamer, because you have okay, parcel tongue. I do. It's because I'm part reptile. I mean, we all are. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't want to say everybody because I don't know who is and who isn't. I haven't done. I'm just presuming. But then again, like, just given the state of the world, I don't think there's too many. No, there's a lot. There's a lot out there. Like, those are your politicians. Those are your corporate people. Those are your business people. Cold-blooded motherfuckers. And then you do have more like animalistic people. Oh, that makes sense. That would make sense. Well, how turning on the right hemisphere would it start nurturing the spark of the reptilian soul. Oh, she was the serpent. Hello. Oh. This wasn't a talking snake. This was a shapeshifter. And she transformed herself. She transmuted herself into a serpent, which is why she could talk, because she was a witch. Well, she knew magic at least. Does that mean Hashem? Shame on you. Well, that sucks. Thinking about the Archon. Ah, man, that's too bad. I'm sorry. That sucks. But, I mean, if that's the case, then I'm gonna leave it up to Hashem. Like Hashem has many faces, many names. Like I don't know all of them. Like, hey, I know enough. The song that's playing, there's this sample. It's really funny. You were marveling at what I was saying. You were marveling. I saw him. I just saw him marvel. That's a synchronicity. Well, that's assuming that there's anybody watching this that's marveling right now. But I mean, I feel it. Like, that's the thing too. Is like I feel like it. I can feel that energy coming from outside of myself, and inside of myself. That's where it starts. Is like you feel it on the inside, and then it resonates outwards, and it pings. It pings all the right people. So if you were watching that and you were marveling, then that's because when I was recording this, I sent out a ping out into the universe. I set an intention, right? And anybody out there that is susceptible to that particular frequency that I just put out, which was somebody marveling at this. So this technically should only ping at least one other human being to wash this whole fucking thing through, preferably on 2 times speed. This way you can cram it in faster and still get the same amount of. Well, you'll pick up on things that you would have missed because it's played at a different frequency. It's a long story. Well, plus it also like frees up time. So it was just like 2 hours. You cram 2 hours into 1 hour. There's a benefit to it. Because it's not going so fast that you're gonna like not be able to keep up, but it's also not going so slow that like you get bored. Like, that's really how I would probably recommend even watching these, is like put them on a fucking headphones and then shut your eyes and play it back at 2 times the playback speed. See what happens. That's a fucking good idea. That's actually a really good idea. I mean, you can get high if you want. If you have any kind of particular medicine that you prefer, and then just dose yourself. It's like, don't fucking kill yourself, but just to kind of put you in that state that you like to be in, that you know that you like to be in. Like, it's just cozy. Everything's cozy and right now. Oh man, I wish I knew what he was listening to. Oh, it's cold. Qual. Rip doth thy scarlet claws. Fuck. Actually, you know what? Well, I want to put Rain back on. Rein. Thinks he's Scandinavian, I think. Maybe German? There's a big fucking difference, yeah, I know. That's why I was kind of second guessing myself when I said it, but... Ooh, I like that. Atari Teenage Riot. Collapse History. The Christine mix. That's my favorite version. I like Atari Teenage Riot. I first heard them when I was 15. We resonate. But speaking of collapsing history, that's the cool thing about the Jewish calendar and even Jewish science is that you can collapse time. It teaches you how to collapse time in your mind and in the world around you as well. Which is like, what? I was watching Loki last night and like I could just tell that the writers they can only go so far with it because they don't understand like the really deep fucked up metaphysics of it. Like that's why I was saying like even with Star Wars, like I've been noticing like I don't think people watch out for I don't think people even look for it, but like the Force, like are you actually watching to see how the Force works? Because it shows you. Like even in like fucking what was it? Rebels. I was watching Star Wars Rebels, and one of the characters he goes through like several of the characters go through like really intense Jedi training, but the training I understand what the training is. That's literally like spiritual training, and it works. Like I understand what it is that they're accomplishing. So it's like, oh shit, I'm actually getting Jedi training, watching Jedi training. This is amazing. I love Star Wars books. Even like, especially the ones on the Sith. The Dark Bane trilogy was fucking amazing. And it's got really practical practices in there. Practices that have practical value. Even Darth Plagueis, that was a fucking amazing book. And not to mention, you read the book, you're literally getting trained in the ways of the dark side. Like the Emperor of the fucking the Emperor of the galaxy, the Galactic Emperor. Like, of course. Who would not want to learn from this guy?